In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this WordPress website that I've created, and it's ideal for people who want to just simply have a business website for their company or business that they might be co-founding, especially if you're an entrepreneur watching this. And I'm going to show you how I was able to create an amazing website without any coding whatsoever for my business, for free, from scratch, and launching it live onto the World Wide Web in just a few hours by using my WordPress blueprint. That got me to the point where I can now focus my main attention on getting new clients and using my website as a tool of attracting and converting internet traffic into new lead prospects and paying clients. But most importantly, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved that by explaining to you the entire process I went through in a simple and easy to understand full breakdown, step-by-step walkthrough with no steps skipped. I can't tell you how many times I've seen qualified freelance web developers or popular website publishing platforms get the website creation process wrong. But I finally figured out how to do it right, and I figured out how to get people just like you to actually complete their website without forking out thousands of dollars when we simply want to get started first and on the lowest budget possible. I'm also here to tell you that we won't be starting with that terrifying blank page on the screen that's just sitting there blank in front of you, leaving you not knowing where to start, what to do, or what to say. And that's just awful when all we're simply trying to achieve here is getting your business website live and ticked off, so you have reached the point now where you can move straight onto bigger and better things, like the next phase of your business, such as attracting new paying clients and starting new business relationships with your clients and grow your business client base from there. The goal of this video is to teach you how to confidently create your own website using WordPress so you can tick it off and get on with finding clients for your business, because essentially that's what you're trying to achieve here. And I think one of the biggest problems we have when we start out as entrepreneurs is that we waste so much time trying to get the logo or the website right when really we just want to get something up and start chasing down clients. So follow me step by step. I'm going to show you the way, and I'm going to give you optional templates that you can download, which you can then use to create your own website. But essentially, if you follow me step by step, you would have acquired enough value to create your own website using WordPress, and you won't have to spend a semester at college. All you're going to need is either a desktop or a PC, and everything else we need is done online, and the only thing you're going to need is a domain name and web hosting, and I'm going to show you how to get that because I know a reliable source that works with WordPress in order to get the best out of your money's worth. So if you want to learn my exact WordPress blueprint, then let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is step 1 and step 2, and luckily we can do them together at the same place at Bluehost. Start by opening up your favorite web browser. I'm going to use Firefox and go to Bluehost. If you're watching this blueprint webinar on my website, then you can enter your domain name down here and that'll take you to Bluehost where you can check out your new domain name. If you're watching this webinar on YouTube, the link is in the description down below. If you guys choose to buy a domain name through me, I will receive a small commission from Bluehost, so thank you very much in advance, and I'll be able to create more awesome WordPress videos for you guys in the near future. Thank you. Bluehost is one of the biggest and well-known hosting companies in the world. Over 2 million websites are currently using Bluehost, and WordPress.org is the biggest content management system in the world, powering about 30% of all websites worldwide, and they're telling us to use Bluehost, so we're going to use Bluehost as our web hosting company for this tutorial. On that note, Bluehost provides one-click installs, so we can install WordPress in just one click, which makes it very easy for beginners to get started, especially if you're just starting out trying to build a blog or a website or a WooCommerce store. We can get started within minutes. I'd like to point out that a lot of web hosting companies have customer support, but they don't have it like Bluehost does. The customer support is 24/7, and the good thing about Bluehost is they'll get you in front of the right person that you need to talk to who specializes in whatever query it is you have with your website. One last important thing I'd like to mention is that Bluehost is now providing free SSL certificates, and that's extremely important for new websites because Google recently released a new search algorithm where HTTPS sites are now more favored than HTTP sites on a Google search. So it's very important that we get an SSL certificate, which Bluehost provides for free. And to know that you've got an SSL, you'll see the little green padlock in front of your URL, whereas other hosting companies are charging you $100 or more just to get an SSL certificate. And so Bluehost is providing free SSL certificates with Google's recent Let's Encrypt update on the web browser, because Bluehost has partnered with Google. So once you're ready, go ahead and click on the Get Started Now green button. So once we do that, there are now 3 different plans to choose from: the basic plan, the plus plan, and the prime plan. And what I recommend is the basic plan, because you can always upgrade to the other plans at any time you want. So you can upgrade from the basic plan to the plus plan, and then later you can go from the plus plan to the prime plan and vice versa. But what I recommend is the prime plan has way too much stuff for you guys right now, so I just recommend go ahead and get the basic plan, and you can always upgrade later. So the key difference between the basic plan and the plus plan is that you can get one domain name for your website, whereas for the plus plan you can get multiple domain names. So you can have your website.com, your portfolio.net, your mum's website.com, your uncle's website.org. You know, you can have your best friend's website.com, but most people start off with one website, so we're just going to go with the basic plan for now. And of course, it is the least expensive option of the 3, and that is just what we need right now. Alright, so all we need to do now is click select, and now we have 2 options here. So we can choose a new domain, or you might already have a domain name. So if you've already purchased a domain name from another place such as GoDaddy, then you're going to want to fill it out right here in I have a domain name and click next. But if you're purchasing a new website name or domain name, then you're going to want to enter it right here. And here we can choose the extension type. I usually go with .com, and you can see the different other extension options here. So if you can't get .com, then you can try your website name with a different extension. It does give you a few options. I'm going to go with .com. Click on the field new domain and enter in our new website name or your new website name, domain name, and click the next button. Next, you'll be prompted to fill out your payment options. I'm just going to speed the video up here while I fill out my options. So with the package information plan, it's really up to you. If you choose to commit up front longer, you get a massive discount, which means you'll pay less per month, but you do have to pay more up front. Whereas if you commit less, you don't have to pay as much up front, but it's going to cost a lot more per month. I'm just going to go with the first option, but it's really up to you what you want to go with. Package extras is always ticked automatically because they want to make a little more money. But with domain privacy protection, it's really up to you. All it's doing is you're just making your credentials anonymous. Your domain is anonymous, so people will only find out that you're with, in this case, Bluehost. But since we're just starting out, chances are that doesn't matter. I'm just going to untick all of these. But you can always change your mind and include these options later on, especially when your website starts to get a lot bigger. But to reduce the cost up front, as we're trying to get started, I'm going to untick all of these. And I'll show you later in the video where you can go if you want to get these options ticked later in the future, especially when your website starts getting bigger. Next, just fill out your credit card options. Once you're happy with that, make sure you click I agree with Bluehost terms of services and cancellation policy, and that you've acknowledged their private policy, and finally click the green button submit. Once you're in, we'll be asked to create a new password. There's got to be a capital, lowercase, numbers, and a character. And when that's done, click I accept the terms and conditions and click next. Congratulations, we've got a new password. Now click login, and Bluehost might load for a little while. The next thing we're going to do is install your theme. A theme is the design of your website, so what your website looks like. And themes is one of the reasons why I love WordPress so much, because hundreds and thousands of people are making hundreds and thousands of themes for WordPress, meaning we have thousands of unlimited designs to choose from. And so when you pick one of these themes, you can actually see what your theme looks like just by visiting your website, and you can always change your theme later on. But I do have a favorite theme that I recommend you install, because we're going to be using this theme for the entire tutorial. So if you install a different theme, then you won't be able to follow all the steps in this tutorial because it'll be different. So the theme that I love is Ocean WP, and you can see it's the first option on the menu here. And the reason why I love Ocean WP is because it's free, and it's one of these free themes that you can do just about anything you want on your website. Even if you want to do e-commerce, you can do e-commerce. So let's go with Ocean WP. Click on Ocean WP. If you find it's taking forever to load, then alternatively what you could do is just jump into your email. So I'm going to log into my Gmail account that I use to sign up with Bluehost, and you should have received at least 2 or 3 emails from Bluehost. One of the emails is just for you to verify that your email email is real. The second email will provide you with all the details on how to log into your portal, and if you click on that as seen here, this will take you to the portal. So if it's still loading, then just log into your email and jump into your portal through your email, and that should do the trick. So you might recall earlier in the video that we didn't check domain privacy, and Bluehost has decided to give it to us for free as a trial for 31 days. So go ahead and accept that 31-day trial. That's good. Alright, so if we check our website, we'll see that it's not going to work yet. Bluehost puts a default coming soon page in its place, and that's because the internet just needs a little bit of time to realize that, hey, you've got this new domain name. So it will take some time to spread throughout the entire world on the World Wide Web and telling the internet that, hey, this website now exists. So we will need to wait. It can take anywhere between 2 to 24 hours or up to 48 hours for our website to work. But the cool thing with Bluehost is that they'll give us a temporary URL where we can just jump into the WordPress dashboard and get straight into building our website while that's doing its thing in the background. Okay, so now you want to click on log into WordPress, and that'll take us to our dashboard within WordPress, and this is where it begins. We can actually start building our website. Alright, the first thing that I like to do, and I'd recommend you guys do once you've logged into your WordPress dashboard, is to change our password first, because WordPress will generate a long funky password that's really hard to remember because it's completely random. So the first thing you want to do is navigate to the left bar and hover over users, click on users. Once users shows up, the default is admin, which is you. Click on admin. Now scroll down and click on create password, and as you can see, if you show it, this is the funky long random password I was talking about earlier. So change it to whatever you want and then click on update profile, and it's done. So the next thing we're going to do now is delete plugins, and what plugins are is they add functionality to your website, and that's one of the things that makes WordPress really great. So say you want to have like a PayPal button and link up your PayPal account so someone can buy something on your website, say for an e-commerce website. Well, by default WordPress doesn't come with such features, so there's a plugin for that you can install and add to your WordPress site so that you can have that ability to create a PayPal plugin. And there's plugins for everything. There's plugins for forms, plugins for page builders, plugins for social media. There's pretty much a plugin for everything now, and there's new plugins being added to WordPress all the time. But what hosting companies do is they install all these extra plugins on your website because, well, they get paid to do it, and understandably they're in the business of providing a service, and that's how they make money, which is okay. But that being said, we don't want these plugins on our website, so navigate to the left menu and click on plugins, and as you can see here are some of the default plugins that have been installed by Bluehost, or that came with your Bluehost package. And what we're going to do is click on the top option here, then click on the drop down menu here and click on deactivate, and now click on apply, and that's deactivated all the plugins, so they're inactive now. But we still want to get rid of these plugins, so click on the top button again, click on the drop menu again, this time click on delete and apply, and there you go. Now that we've got rid of these plugins from our website, we can start again all clean and fresh, and we'll start adding in new plugins. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is see if WordPress needs any updates. We want to make sure our website is fully up to date first before we actually start building anything, as sometimes updates can cause some unexpected changes to our website, especially if there's an update and a plugin hasn't been updated to suit that new update on WordPress, that it might cause temporary glitches. But usually developers update their plugins and you're good to go most of the time. But it's better to make sure the website is fully up to date first before actually creating anything to avoid headaches down the road. So what you want to do is hover over our website name and click on dashboard, and at the top of the left bar just click on updates, and as you can see here we don't have any updates, but if there were any updates it will tell you, and all you have to do is click on the update button and WordPress will automatically make the updates and you'll be good to go. Right, the next thing we're going to do is delete some pages and posts that WordPress installs automatically. Ultimately, we just want to start off clean and fresh right from the beginning. So navigate to your left on the bar and click pages, and we'll see the sample page. Click on that or click on view, and yep, just looks like a regular Ocean WP web page on WordPress. So go back and we can click on trash. Alright, so once we've done that, that will go into the trash can. If we click on the trash can and we click delete permanently, that will get rid of it, and that gets rid of it entirely, and that's how we delete pages on WordPress. Next, we're going to delete our posts. So if you go to the menu on the left and hover over Hello World and click on trash, and again we can click on trash and delete permanently. The differences between pages and posts is that pages are like website pages, so home page, about page, contact page, store, services page, And posts are for a blog. So if you wanted to write a blog, you'd click on posts and you'd write it and create it there. So you'd click on blog and you'd create your blogs and post them there. Alright, so we're now done deleting our pages and posts, and that was pretty easy, nothing too complicated. Okay, the next thing we're going to learn now is how to change your website's title and tagline. So to do that, we need to hover over welcome and click on visit our website. So we can see our title right here, which is welcome, and our tagline here, which is just another WordPress site by default. But our website's going to be a lot better than just another WordPress website. So if you click up here on customize and then navigate down and click on site identity, and here you can see site title. I'm going to change that real quick. And here's our tagline here, so we can change that right here. I'm going to change mine right now. And here you can see the site title and tagline. I'm just going to go ahead and change mine right now. So I recommend putting your business name here in the site title and then what your business does in the tagline, so it can give users more information about what your website is. Alright, once you're done with that, you can click on publish and exit out of there, and we can see our title up here and our tagline down here. But not to worry, our website isn't going to look like that. We're going to remove this later on and make our website look 1,000 times better than the default. But for now, that's how you add your title and tagline. But our website is blank, so what we're going to do now is add pages to our website. To do that, hover over your title name and click on Dashboard, navigate down the left menu and click on Pages. Then navigate to the top right and click Add New, and we can start by adding in our page title. I'm going to call this page Home because we need a home page, and I'm going to leave it blank for now, so navigate further to the right and click on Publish. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to add a new page, and I'm going to name this page About and click on Publish. And now I'm going to add a new page again. I'm going to name this page Services and click on Publish. And finally, we'll add one more page, Add New. I'm going to name this one Contact and click on Publish. Now, if you go back to the left menu and click on Pages, now we can see all our pages here that we just created. Of course, you can add as many pages as you like or what your website requires. I mean, you can add features pages, frequently asked questions pages, you can add an e-commerce store page, so if people want to buy from your website you can do that. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to stick to these 4 pages because pretty much every website uses these pages, and because this is a tutorial, I want to try and keep it as short and sweet as possible. But remember, the options of adding pages is limitless, and we have now learned how to add pages. Okay, moving on. So the next thing we're going to do is edit our menu. To do that, hover over your name at the top and click on Visit Site, and we're going to start adding links to this part over here. And for simplicity's sake and aesthetic, we're going to remove this top part here as well. So to begin, click on Customize at the top and then click on Top Bar, then click on General and uncheck Enable Top Bar. And as you can see to the right, the top bar is now gone. Now we're just left with the menu space. Okay, so now we can go back, and now it's time to add all our menu items. So click on Menu and click on Create New Menu. Then we'll start by naming our new menu. I'm just going to call it Main because it's our main menu, but you can name your menus whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go with Main. And after that, check it off as the main menu. Now click on Next and now click on Add Item. So first I'll click on Home as our first item, and I'm just going to check that it's our website name. Double check that. It should be the website name or domain name that you bought. And once you've confirmed that, click on Add Items again and add the others. So About, Contact, Services. And now we can go back, and if you look to the top right, you will now see our Home, About, Services, Contacts has now been added to our menu. Alright, now we can go back to Edit More Settings. Now navigate down to Header and click on General, and here we've got some control on how we like to stylize our main menu. So for example, we could choose Screen, and if you look to the right, it will give us the universal hamburger, and if someone clicks on it, it will give us a full screen menu. Or we could click on Medium and that will center our menu. Or we could use Transparent, and this is the one we're going to use in the tutorial because transparent is very popular. And if you choose Transparent, it's going to make the menu transparent, so whatever you build will go underneath it. The menu will basically be layered on top, which creates a really nice effect. Alright, and by default there's a border at the bottom of our menu, but since we're going for the transparent effect, we don't really want a line, so just go ahead and untick that. And over here we can choose to make our menu really big or small. By default I usually stick around between 72 and 80, but for this tutorial, I'm going to leave it at 80. You guys can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. Now, starting out, I'm going to make the background color black. And normally, if you don't use a transparent menu, this would normally be the background color. So if you want a white menu, black menu, blue menu, green menu, this is the place to do it. Now, if we move down to transparent and header settings, again, click on it. I'm going to make this all black. And we'll take this one step further. We're going to mess with the transparency settings. So if we drag the slider all the way to the left, then it will be completely transparent and you'll be able to see everything that's underneath again. And if we slide it back to the right, then it wouldn't be transparent at all, but we don't want that. We want to have a bit of a transparency effect. So I'm going to slide it to about 25, so it's still transparent, but we can see a bit of the menu and it will create a nice effect later on in the tutorial. Okay, and everything looks pretty good. This is the way we want it for now, and we can always come back and change it later. So let's head back, and now let's change what the menu colors look like, because black on black isn't going to be very legible for users. We want to make this stand out and easy to read for our viewers, so contrast is key here. So where it says home, about, services, and contact, these are the colors we want to change. So if you click on menu and scroll down a bit, and for link color, we're going to make this completely white, and this will stand out really nice, especially when we put content underneath our menu later on. So make that white. With the hover color, so I'm going to make this green for my website. You can make it any color you want. So what it basically is as soon as someone moves their mouse over your menu, that color is going to change to indicate that they're currently hovering over that link. You can choose whatever you want. I'm going to go for green for now, and with the link color menu item, I'm going to make this white. Basically what this is that when someone's clicked on a menu item and they're on your page, that will be the color. It means it's activated, but I don't want it to be a different color. I just want to keep this design nice and clean, so I'm going to go with white. But again, you guys can choose whatever you need or want for your website. It's really up to you. There's no right or wrong here. And next we have a search box by default, but to be honest, our website isn't big enough yet that's worthy of having a search, so I'm just going to scroll down here and tick that off and disable the search. But you can always come back later and re-enable the search box later in the future if you need it, but it's really up to you. Again, no right or wrong here, guys. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. I've pretty much covered everything I want to do for this menu, and if we change our mind, we can always go back later. So if we go back and scroll down to typography, and the typography section is basically all the fonts and text on your website, and here we've got full control where we can change the size, style, font, legibility, you name it, we can change it. So you can change any of the fonts you want here, but for now I just want to show you how to change the font for the logo. So click on the logo, and as you can see here, we can change the font size. We can make the logo bigger or smaller. There's about 600 font families to choose from, so you can change the font for your logo, and you can get a better look at these fonts if you go to google.com/fonts, where you can check fonts in greater detail there if you're still looking for a particular font that you want to use for your logo. And so for someone like me, I'm really into my modern sans serif font, so I'm just going to go with this font right here, and I can always come back and change it later. You might have a particular font or style for your logo. It's really up to you, but I'm just going to go for this one for the tutorial purposes. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's go back. Now let's click on menu, and we're going to do a basic text transform. We're going to make this all uppercase, so scroll down and click on uppercase, and as you can see, all our text in the logo on the main menu is now uppercase. And with these settings here, you can drag the slider back and forth to make the text bigger, and you can increase the space, which is the space between the characters per word. So again, it's really up to your personal preference of what you're trying to achieve. I'm just going to set it to like that because that's pretty standard and it looks great, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. So now I'm going to go back, and now we're just going to change the color of our text logo here. So we're going to click on header and click on logo. And I'm going to show you how to upload your own logo later in the tutorial, but for now, if you want to keep your logo as a text, I'm going to show you how to change the color now. So if you go down here and again just click on select color, and we're going to make this white, and that's good. So now the logo is white, but if we hover over the logo, it's by default it's going to turn blue. So we're just going to change this color, and I'm just going to change it to the same green that I used for the menu for now anyway, but we can always come back and change this anytime we want. So the next thing we're going to do is set our homepage to be an actual homepage, because by default WordPress is viewing this as a blog, and we don't want that. So if we come back here into the main menu and click on homepage settings, and as you can see here, there's two options. We're just going to click on static page, so that WordPress is now reading this as an actual web page, not a blog post page. So click on that, and where the drop down menu is, just click on the first one and choose home. You can make a static page any page you want, like the about page or service page, etc. But when we want people to come on our website, we most likely want them to land on our home home page first before they do anything else. So go ahead and click home, and this is the first page people are going to see when they come onto your website. Alright, and that's everything. So we can go ahead to the top and click on publish and let WordPress update all those settings. And once that's done, we can exit out of here. So just click on the X here. And now as we can see right here, this page is now set to the home page. And it's pretty simple and it was easy enough. It looks pretty cool. And as we just do a little test here, you can see that the navigation is working. As I click on these, it's displaying the correct titles for each page. So if I click on services and contact, as you can see, it's all working. And that's how we set up our navigation. The next thing I want to do is show you how to add content to your WordPress site the old-fashioned way, aka the not-so-fun way, but it is still essential that you know. So hover to the top over your website name and click on Dashboard, then scroll down the left menu and click on Pages, and find your home page, click on Home Page, and then we can add any content we want right here. And we can pretty much start typing right now and add images, add links, and format the text, you know, a bit like Microsoft Word. And this is how we used to create websites back in the day. But I'm going to show you anyway. So after you're finished, click on Update and now click on View Page at the top, and that'll take us to our home page. And as you can see here, here's the content that we just added just now, and there you go. That's the old-fashioned way of making a WordPress site. Not the most inspiring or charismatic way to build a website, but it is still pretty interesting. Okay, let's look at the new and 2018 way of creating a new website. And to do that, we need to get a plugin. And again, a plugin is something we use to extend the features on our WordPress site. And remember that thousands of people are creating new plugins and features that can be added onto WordPress. And that's really the beauty or differentiating factor of WordPress, is that people can just jump in and create new plugins that can add more features or capabilities to WordPress. So what we're going to do now is get and install a page building plugin. So let's hover over our website and click on Dashboard. Now navigate down the menu and click on Plugins, Add New Plugins, and we're going to search for a plugin called Elementor, E-L-E-M-E-N-T-O-R. Type that in and it should come up as the first result. And as you can see here, it's nearly got 2,000 ratings with over 1 million active installations. It's compatible with our latest version of WordPress. It was updated a week ago. It's pretty active, and Elementor is still getting new updates as time goes by, so this will only continue to get better and better as time goes on. And you can click on more details here and learn more about it. Click on screenshots just to get a quick overview, but we're going to exit out of that. Alright, so now we've got Elementor installed on our WordPress website. Let's go back to Pages and click on Home, and you'll see this blue button here, Edit with Elementor. So you want to click on that, and when we click on that, it will activate the Elementor page builder, and just give it a moment to load, and here we are. This is Elementor. Alright guys, so now that I've given you a quick overview glance of what's possible in WordPress and Elementor, I've actually gone ahead and created some of the pages that I'm going to be showing you how to create in this tutorial. But first I'll show you what you can expect. So as you can see here, I've already created what the home page will look like. Services, clients we've worked with, testimonials, and a CTA, call to action, ready to talk. Here's the about page. So it's great to put your vision, your goals, your mission statement, in my case, redirecting you on the right path, or to the right path. The best at redirecting entrepreneurs from scratch to their destination of success. And I'm going to show you how to put this cool little arrow to scroll people down. Then essentially on the about page, you want to talk about your company's history, story, and maybe have a video. I embedded this video from my YouTube channel for copyright reasons, but you might have videos of your own. And then I'm going to show you how to create the Meet Your Team section. These obviously are all just, I'm not going to say actors, but they're just models. So they're just demonstration purposes. And it's just nice to couple up the people you've worked with, as well as testimonials and a CTA, because reality is, guys, not everyone's going to click on every page they land on. They might have landed on your page from a Google search. So I'll show you the services page. So helping entrepreneurs achieve online presence. That's what I'm all about. We've figured out a way of teaching everybody how to build websites to attract paying clients. So essentially you want to put your pitch here, and then you want to follow that pitch up with your claim, which is down here, what we do. So I put an example here for you guys to make it easier. You're just simply putting down here your qualifier of what it is you do. So in my case, we help entrepreneurs get more paying clients by teaching them how to build an attractive online presence using WordPress and Elementor. So those are my qualifiers there, and to prove that I qualify, I'm actually teaching you it right now. If using design strategy plus niche marketing strategy to generate new paying clients onto your doorstep is your thing, then we're pretty much your guide. So as it says, again, here these are my other qualifiers, so justifying why I've designed, in this case, this website the way it is, and who it's for, and it's ultimately for you guys that are watching this right now. And I'll just refresh this page again to show you the animations that I'm going to show you. With animations, we can control the flow of information as well as make the website a bit more aesthetic. But here you'll list out, I've decided to go with 3 services. I don't actually provide these services as of today. It is something I could provide in the future, but again, these are just examples of what you as an entrepreneur or a consultant might supply. And then we're going to build this simple section that you just take your services and you just lay them out in a more in-depth sort of structure, so people who are viewing your website can get the full story. And then of course we'll just follow it with the same template, people you've worked with, brands you've worked with, client testimonials, and a CTA ready to talk. So it's that simple, guys. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as you know, in the beginning of this tutorial, we've already created the About, Home, Contact, Service page. Obviously you won't be seeing the advanced and simple because I went ahead and created those in my own time. So if you go to your home page and you click on Edit with Elementor, so the first thing we need is the background image, and what that is all the images that you saw, I got them off Pixabay. Pixabay is for free, so again you could type in Northern Lights. There's the image right there. So I clicked on it and I clicked free download. 1920 by 1280 is all you need. So you click download, eventually this little message will come up, click OK. I'm not going to download it because I've already got it, but then it'll most likely go to your downloads folder. So if we go back to the home page, we'll start by creating a new section. We've already done it, so what we can do is we need to put a heading. We'll center that for the moment. What else have we got? We've got a heading, another heading, and a button. So we'll come in, we'll put 2 headings in, and we'll center that, and we'll put button. It's just as simple as dragging and dropping, guys. And we'll center the button. Okay, great. So that's what we're starting with. Now, to make it a little bit more easier, what we're going to do is go to Style. And if you look at the background section here, we'll click on the classic, and that will drop down and give us the option to put an image. So in this case, I want to use that Northern Light image, which I've got here in my library somewhere. There it is. I'll insert that. And as you can see, it's already in there, but we need to make this section bigger. So if we click on Layout on the top left, and we click on where it says Height, and click Fit to Screen, there we go. It will automatically fit to the entire screen. So what I did in our example is I chose Center, and then I chose Fixed. And what Fixed does is as we scroll down, the image will stay put in the background. It does create a nice cool effect. If you choose Scroll, then it's going to scroll with it, which is fine. It's personal preference. But I'm going to go with Fixed. I don't want this image to repeat, and I want it to, we've got a few options here. We can either make it auto, which I think is the same as default. We can force it to cover, so no matter what, it's going to show the whole image. And we can either contain it. I don't recommend contain, because if people are viewing your website on really large screens, it might create white edges, which we don't want. So I'm just going to go with default for now, and that's fine. Now I believe I put a background overlay. A background overlay is when you can splash some color or another image on top of an image. I know that sounds weird, but I'll show you how handy that is in a different scenario later on. If I put, say, the color black, and black's a very popular color when it comes to overlay. If you've got, say, white text or something in front of the image, putting an overlay on top will make it a lot easier for readability purposes. We'll turn off color because we don't need it at the moment. We'll go to the layout and we'll go to min height and we'll make that 900. Here we go. Okay, so we've now set the background for the hero image for our homepage. And if we click on this little blue pencil icon here, we'll now select the first title. And again, Elementor just brings up the settings. So in my case, I called it Websites Done Right, finally. Just going to copy and paste that. Better to paste it in here where it says. And I believe I made the sizing, the text should be white, because white has the nicest contrast. That 57 pixels. Take out the pixels, there we go, 57 pixels. The font we're going to use is Helvetica, just by default, because Helvetica universally it's pretty much the best font in the world, really. It's stand the test of time, but it is overly used, I get that. But you guys can use whatever you want. And for the next one, build your online appearance to attract millions. So I'll just bring that in. You guys can type whatever it is you want. Make it white. There we go. And again, we'll just make that size 19. It's important that we make the font 19 pixels big on the desktop, because when you're actually reading it, it's quite far away. Whereas on the mobile phone, which we'll do later, it's recommended to not go below 16. For desktop, we'll do 19. And we'll bring the point size down to 400. A good practice of typography is to either skip a weight and double the size or triple the size of the original size. So in this case, 19 times 3 is 57. That's why Websites Done Right is size 57. Just some great typography practices that I've learned and picked up over the years, especially when I was studying graphic design. You can always break the rules. There's no right or wrong here. But if you don't know what to do, or you're stuck to what to do, just follow the guides and that'll get you going. Because ultimately, we just want to get a website done, and it's good enough to attract paying clients, and you can advance your business and your career, which is what we want to do. It is a little hard to read. So again, if I go back to, if I click on the section for the background, go to Style, click on Background Overlay, choose black. Now it's a lot easier to read. And we can always lower the opacity a bit, so I might actually bring it down. I love the green Vista hues there, I don't want to lose too much of that, so I'll bring the transparency down to 3. Really up to you guys, you might be using a different image for your own business. Now with the button, we want to create this nice ghost button effect, and it's really easy. So by default, the button has a green background and it says click here. So watch our blueprint. Well, you guys are watching the blueprint right now, lucky you. We won't link it at the moment, and I did a tick icon, so you can add icons to your, you can add icons of all sorts to your buttons. I'm going to go with this one, and by default it places it at the front. You can actually place it afterwards, but I'm going to leave it at the front for now. So the next thing we want to do is go to the style. We want the text color to stay white, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to read it. At the moment the background color is green by default, but if we click any of these colors, the button is now blue, it's gray, white, now we can't see the text. So what we're going to do is clear that and bring the opacity down to 0. So as you can see, we've still got a button there, but at the moment it just looks like text. So if we come to the border type here, it's currently set to none. What you want to do is hit solid, and we'll bring up a few options, and typically I like to bring it to about 2. 3 is a bit too thick for my taste, so I'll bring it down to about 2. We want the color of the border to be white to match up all the white we've got going on here, so that creates that nice ghost effect, and you're using the elegance of the background to enhance that effect. That being said, we'll bring the radius, which is the corners. I usually go for 15. No, in this case I'll go for 5. Yep, 5 looks nice. So we've got these nice smooth round corner edges there. That again, it's just part of the aesthetic. It looks modern, it's clean. Go to our widgets tab and we'll choose spacer, put that between these two, and we'll bring that down to 25. Update that. What we can do now is preview the website, and there it is. So there's the menu we created earlier. That's there. And here's our first homepage with the banner that we've been creating, which is good. Back to Elementor, we want to bring some life to this. So what we want to do, we'll go to the advanced. So I've clicked on the blue pencil, I've clicked on advanced, and here you've got what's called an entrance animation, and there's quite a few animations to pick from. Eventually, guys, this is just something you get a feel for and you get used to over time, but from my experience, I like to use the fade in. We'll go for the fade in left. Bottom one here, we'll set that to fade in up. And there's no right or wrong here, guys. You can choose whatever you want. You might not even want any animation. And with the button, I'm going to go with the bounce in up. I like to make the buttons bounce. It just adds a bit of character, if you know what I mean. And you can also delay when an animation starts, so this way we can control the flow of information. So what I'm thinking is put 500 milliseconds for the second animation, and we want the button to come in a little bit after that, so we'll put 1000 milliseconds, click update, preview. So at the moment the button doesn't link to anywhere, and that's okay because we won't link anything at this stage, but we will link everything once our pages have been created, because at the moment we haven't created the other pages for this button to go to. But we can still do the hover animation, and what I typically would do, you could change the color. Hang sort of gives it a floating kind of motion, so you can go with that, or alternatively what you can do is we could change the background color to green, for instance, so when someone hovers it changes color. And you can do the same for the border color and the text color. I'm just going to leave it as blank, and yeah, that's fine. So we'll update that. What do we got next? WordPress design consultancy. Okay, so this section here is sort of your value. I like to think of it as your value proposition. So I clicked on the plus button, just one column. So what you want to do here is we'll drag the title or the heading to that, and we'll do it again. We can just go right click, duplicate. So now we've got two. We'll stretch that out. Stretching that out ensures that if you put color in the background, it'll reach the edge of the screen or the monitor, regardless of the size of the screen. I believe I made it a minimum height of 550. Just go back and copy and paste my text. To just paste it in here. Now a cool little trick is you can actually click on the little pencil here and right click and click copy, and you can go right click on this pencil and go paste style, and that will copy all the formatting and effects and the color that you did in this case on that. But because this is a white text on a white background, we don't want that, so we'll just go and change the text to black, and there you go. It saved us the hassle and the time of having to go in and reformat everything. And this is why Elementor is great, because it really speeds up the workflow once you've got the hang of it. So underneath that, we help grow, launch products, and build enduring relationships with their communities. Yep, businesses. And that's what it's all about in my case. You know, I want you guys to succeed. That's my purpose. That's why I'm doing this, is to help you guys succeed. I want to succeed too. Essentially, I'd love to succeed by helping you guys succeed, and you guys succeed by helping your clients or customers succeed. So it's a win-win-win if you think about it. And we will copy, again, we'll go right click, copy the style, and we'll paste that style into here. Just come into the style and change the text color to black. And there you go. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. So we'll check back on the review, refresh the page, and there it is. See? Straightforward. So now the next thing is services. Okay, this is a fun section to make. So with the services, if we come back to our home page, and I believe I worked from a template for this. So if we go to blocks, in the drop down menu here, we've got services. Here we go. Elementor does give you an array of options, which is great. And it was this one here, so we're going to insert that. So a lot of the work's been done for us already, which is great. And now we can just come in and modify it to whatever we want. We can change the text. So in this case, this should be Helvetica 57, and we've got to change the images. So with the image, guys, I found all these images on Pixabay. I typed in coaching for that one. I typed in strategy or chess, and I got that image. And I typed in luxury lifestyle. I ended up choosing this, thinking like the live webinar would be hosted from there. But essentially, guys, if you haven't got your own images, you can just use free stock photography from royalty free until you've got your own images. Ultimately, you want to phase out any stock photography with your own videos and images as your business progresses. But if you haven't got anything at the moment, that's okay. Just use the stock photography that's copyright free and just go from there and start creating your own images as time goes by. That's the general idea. So if we go back to home, click on the image. I've already got the images here in my library. If you need to, you'll have to click on upload file, select file. Typically your images are going to be in the downloads folder, but I'm going to go back and I've already organized them into a Pixabay folder. So in this case, the first image I used was this one, Skype. That's how you upload an image. I've actually got it down here somewhere. There it is. So I'll insert that. Come to this image here and I'll do the same. Scroll down and insert chess piece one with the crown. Good, and I'll come along and insert this one, which is the nice big flash mansion. So as you can see, that was pretty straightforward. I just swapped some images around. The background image, right, so for that one, I click on the layout, I stretch the whole section, come to the style, click on, in the background section, normal, classic, and we'll just turn off that color. We don't want any color on this. And we'll click on the image, found this nice fantasy landscape one. that was also on Pixabay, and I like this idea of the coach or the mentor and the student, the apprentice. And with the settings, I just choose position center. I want it fixed so I have that nice scroll effect. That's what I want. I do not want this image to repeat. It's most of the time, guys, you're probably not going to have images repeating unless you've got like a little graphic and you want it to repeat, like a checkerboard or something. I'll choose cover for the moment. Now I believe I put a background overlay on this one. Yes, I did, because I wanted to make the text easier to read. So if we go to gradient, so I'm just going to paste the hex code into the section here. If you don't know anything about hex codes, don't worry about it. You can always just move the slider around and find a color that you like, and it'll generate a hex code for you. But if you're a bit more advanced like me, you might have your own hex codes that you want to use. I'm going to use the default black for that. And now we just want to change the text to white, because again, white is the theme we're going for. It's got a nice contrast. Do the same for this. And what you can do is just go right click, copy, and go right click, paste style, do the same for this, right click, copy, paste style, and I'll just go ahead and copy and paste the text I used. Okay, so that's all been done. Now the next thing is I added some cool animations. So if we click on the blue pencil for this image here and go down to entrance animation in the advanced tab, it was a zoom in from the left. So that zooms in from the left. This one zoom in from the right. And it actually kind of looks cool on this image because it looks like it's coming out from like underneath the cave sort of formation there. Do the same for this one. This one is zoom in up. Yep, like so. With the text, I use the fade in up. Again, we don't want to go over the top. We just want to keep it nice and simple and in a good flow of information. We don't want to get too fancy. So don't get too hung up with animations. Fade up is pretty good on most cases, especially when people are viewing your content, your website on their phone. They don't have time. They probably would have scrolled past by the time the animation's already happened. But if you're on desktop, you can add to the experience. So we'll just check the refresh page. And there you go. See, it's that easy, guys. That wasn't hard, was it? So next up we've got, okay, so clients we've worked with and testimonials. Right, so again, this was worked from a template, and I believe I took it from, if you go to pages, type in services, it was this one here. And don't be afraid, guys, to look at the services, look at all the page templates, because there might be a pre-made template that you can find value. You don't actually need to have everything here. There it is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that, and get rid of that. And this is all we came for. So we'll first stretch the section and we'll change the background color hashtag 6E. Good. So companies we've worked with. So what we've got here is clients we've worked with. And I'm going to paste that in there. You guys might have brands we've worked with or people we've worked with, etc. So if you click on this section here, it gives you an array of options. Close out all of the default logos they've got there. I've already gone ahead and compiled a folder of logos. I took about 20 logos from the top 100 brands. I don't know if this is still to date, but I just did a Google search and I took the top 10 brands here. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. So you might have worked with several clients. You can ask for their permission to use their logo on your website, and they're usually flattered because it's also social proof for them, it's social proof for you. And see, it was that simple. So again, I'll show you what I did. If you go to google.com, type in top 100 logo brands, images, and yeah, I think I got it from here. Yep. So in which case I just typed in, say, Apple logo, and there it is. You want to go for the PNG. All you need to know about PNG is it gives you the transparent background. So if you see here pngimage.com, I just went up and went view image. If it's got this grey background, there's a good chance it's transparent. Save image as, and you just save them into your folder, and I actually ordered them from alphabetical order. You can do it however you want. And so what you do now, coming back to our home page, is you go right click, duplicate, and what we want to do is just clear off all of these here on this, and I'm just going to add the other 10 logos that I compiled here. It would be nice to have a portfolio of all these brands, wouldn't it? It'd be really something if you've been working with every one of these companies. But you never know. You guys could actually end up working for some of these companies. They could be some of your clients. You never know. Possibilities are there. So we'll insert that. And I believe I put an animation. Additional options. So I made this direction go from the right. So I have one of them going left and the other one going right, just to add a bit of effect. And you can control the options here. I want it to autoplay. Yes, it can pause on hover. And I actually played around with the auto speed here. I made this one 1000. And additional options. We'll make that 3500. And that way it just sort of creates a nice visual effect. But there's no right or wrong here, guys. I mean, you can do it any way you like. I'm going to leave it at that for now. If we go back to our preview, we want to put our client testimonials in. So again, this is a feature from the template. Go to blocks, testimonials, there it is. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was. So I'll show you how to change it so it looks like the one on our preview. Yeah, client reviews. So, client testimonials. Stop. So by default, this template gave us these cool block effects, and you might want that on your website. It's entirely up to you. I'll just put a capital T, testimonials. So I'm going for the uppercase. There we go. Capitalized effect. But if you don't want those boxes and you just want it to blend in, what you can do is click on the section, click on style, and we click on that little grey column button there, and we click on the style, click on the border tab. We can revert this back to the default, which is nothing, and there we go. We're turning off that drop shadow effect. So we click on the border and revert, or alternatively you can just go copy, right click, paste style, and there you go. Now I couldn't help but notice that when you hover it, it brings back that effect. So on the border section where it says hover, click that revert back to default, copy, paste style, and there we go. It's not doing that hover effect anymore. Paste style, there we go. Now it's just blank. So in the case of my website, I wanted to combine these two together, so I'm going to change the background color to that nice creamy white gray effect. So if we go to background and choose hashtag EEE, and it'll automatically generate 6 E's. That's what we want. Check the page structures. It's all coming together, guys, and this only took us about 10-15 minutes. I'm not sure how long it's been. Maybe it's been longer. But you can see that it's possible to get a really good website in just a couple of hours of investing your time to get a professional appearance online and actually start conducting business with your clients. So you guys might already have testimonials. If you can get the photos, that's more ideal. You'll have to ask for permission. People usually have a good photo on LinkedIn. If you can't use photos, you can always delete the photo and just have their name there and their job title. I'm going to keep these photos as default. And the other thing I want to do is I want to change the color of the job. I'll just turn that green, and I'm just going to use the default green. You guys might have your own brand style color palette that you follow. If you don't, a good rule of thumb is to use, I'd say no more than 3 to 4 colors tops, unless you're like really advanced and you know exactly what you're doing. But if you're lost for color themes, I would recommend you start with black and white and you introduce 1 or 2 colors. So in my case, I'm using black and white with green as my main color palette for this website. That doesn't mean the images have to follow the same color palette. Images are images, but I've used a black and green gradient swatch over my images. This one didn't need it because it's already got the nice green. But yeah, just as a general rule of thumb, I would recommend black and white and then either one primary color and then maybe a secondary color. And I'd leave it at that. But in some cases, guys, rules can be broken. You can essentially do whatever you want, but if you want to look really professional, I would recommend no more than 3 or 4 colors and start with black and white. And you can chuck in grey in the black and white like I've done here, because it still comes across as minimalist, and that's what we want. Okay, I'm just going to leave the placeholder text the way it is. The last thing we need to do is put our call to action. So ultimately, if a client or a viewer has visited our website, and they like what they see, then we want to be able to give them an action to get in touch with us and potentially become our paying client. If they're not convinced, then hopefully some of the content on this page will refer them to another section of our page, like the services page or the about page, and maybe later on they'll convert to a paying client then. But in the meantime, let's just assume that they know you or they've heard good things about you and they want to take action now. We need to add at the end of our pages a call to action. So what we're going to do is we'll add a single column and we'll stretch that, and we'll put a heading here. I'll change that to ready to talk. Just put full stop. Center it, and again we'll just copy this, right click, copy, and we'll paste that style there. It saves us the time. And what we can do is go back to the widgets tab and we'll grab a button, we'll drag that button and place it underneath the ready to talk. We'll center it, we'll make it medium. You guys might have book an appointment or take action now, start a project. I'm just going to go with start a project, and then you want to put your color theme into it. I found it's thought that green was the best color for a call to action button because green seems to come across as safe from an emotional, psychological. I mean, you guys at the end of the day can use whatever color you want. Blue's another good color. Red's sometimes seen as aggressive or dangerous, but then again, red is also seen as passion and love. So I'm going to change the style and make that, I want the text color to be white, and I want the background color of the button to be green. There we go. If we give it a hover effect, we can make it pulse grow. Yep, I'll go with that. And we just want to give this call to action a bit of space. So what we'll do is we'll make it a fit to minimum height. We'll make it 550. Another thing I like to add, we'll add the background first. So again, quadruple 6E, let's give us that nice grey. We'll go back to the advanced, and the widget, and we will add the divider, which we can put here. As a matter of fact, I would much prefer it separating these two sections. So we'll add another section, and we'll just make it a single, and we'll just drag the separator into this new section. We're going to color that separator green, and we'll just make that background stretch, style, background, and we'll just make it the same grey color so it merges in, so it looks like it's all part of one section, which is what we want. And we'll add a little animation here, and we'll give it bouncing up. That's what we want. Just add a bit of character to it. If we update that, refresh page, scroll down, so you can see we've got a bit of a page going on here. Oh, we didn't animate the button, but there you go. So you can come back in, I'm going to change that to fade in up, and we'll do the same with the button. I like to use the bounce in up, just add a bit of character. These should be fading in, so what we'll do is we'll give that a fade in up. And a cool little trick here is you can either make if you click on the blue section here and choose fade in up, all three of these testimonials will fade in up together. Or if you want them to come up as individual ones, you can click on the column here, go to the advanced, click on fade in up. So now just that one's going to fade in up. Do the same for this one. Choose fade in up and delay it by 250 milliseconds. And again, the same for this. Choose fade in up and make that 500 milliseconds, and it'll do this dun 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 effect. Same for this. I want this to just fade in up, and I guess we can make these fade in from the left, so we'll get this to fade in from left, and this can fade in from the right. Yep, that's good. So we'll refresh that and we'll have a look at how that pans out. Okay, scrolling down. I like that. That's pretty cool. And there you go, guys. That's our homepage pretty much complete. We just need to add the links to our call to actions and our buttons, but we'll do that later on after we've made the other pages. And Another cool thing with the theme OceanWP is it comes with this back to the top feature. That it works on the mobile phone too, so people can click on that and go straight back to the top. Now that our homepage is done for now, we'll work on the About page now. Alright guys, so we're going to create the About page. So if we go onto the hamburger menu on the top left, click on Exit the Dashboard, and that brings us back to the dashboard. So click on Pages, and we're going to click on the About page. So in this case, click on Edit with Elementor. Alright, and as you can see, it's a blank page again. So I've already gone ahead and created the About page, so let's have a look. We click on what I've already done. We're going to create this, we're going to create this, and I'm going to show you how to import that as well as bring all this across. So what we need to do first is go back, click the red plus button, choose the single column for this example. We're going to make this section stretched because we want to cover the whole full screen. And if we go to the widgets, we can bring in a header. We'll need to bring in 2 of these, which we can just duplicate here, and have 3 of them. Duplicate, and we're going to use a button to get that nice arrow effect. So we go here and drag button. There we go. Now we've got everything we need. So I'll start by centering everything. And what we want to do for the About page is it's a great page to put your mission statement or your company's goals or business. So for example, I've put here redirecting you the right path. And I choose that because I essentially want to be able to send people on the right path to their destination, wherever it is they want to go. That's what I'm all about. So in my case, for our vision, I've decided to go with the best at redirecting entrepreneurs from scratch to their destination of success. And that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. Less is more, guys. Try not to overwrite things. If you find yourself writing excessively, then try to edit it down. And when I mean edit it down, I mean bring it right back down. Shorten it as short and sweet as possible. I know it took me a few goes at trying to get this nice and short. So the text is white. What we'll do is we'll put the background image in. And if we click on style, go to the background section, click on classic, click on the blank image here. Again, I'm going to use an image that I got from Pixabay. That would be that fantasy image. And here it is. I'll insert that and we'll make a minimum height. And the minimum height was set to 750, and the column position was set to middle and no gap. So come back to layout and we'll go for no gap. That ensures there's no white space anywhere. It fills it right to the edges. We want to go for minimum height, and that was 750 on the desktop mode. And if we go to the column position, we want everything in the center. By default it should be in the center regardless. And if we go back to style, we want this to be center, we want this to be fixed, and we want this to no repeat, and we'll just go with auto. That's good. I think, yes, I'd use a gradient for this one. So if we check here, at the background overlay, I'm using black and one of my green gradient, and I'm going to copy and paste this code. You guys might already have your code. So if we go back to About page, I noticed that I had this at the bottom center, and it's on cover. So I'll come to the background overlay, click on gradient, and we'll put the green in here, and we'll change that red to black. There we go, that creates that nice contrast effect. So if we come back to our text here now, the first thing I'm going to do is change it to white, and I believe I have it on 57 pixels, standard for my website, and I've got it on Helvetica. And if we go to our vision, change that to white, change that to 19 pixels. I believe I brought the font size down to about 300. Increase the line spacing. Line spacing is the space between the individual letters, so I'll bring that to about 2.7, and I have that as uppercase. So if we want to make that all caps, we just go to the typography again and transform it to uppercase, and there you go. And for the caption, go to the typography, make that 19. Turn it to white, and as you can see, we'll bring that down, and there we go. And last but not least, we've got to change the button. So again, the trick here is to find the icon, angle. There we go. So angle double down, and that puts the icon there. We're going to make this large, and we want to get rid of the text, and we'll come to the typography section and we'll make that 19. In fact, we'll double that, we'll make it 38, and that's what we want. We'll go with that. We will make the text. The icon is still considered as text in this case, so we'll make that white and we'll just make the background color nothing. And there you go, and that's how you create, that's the little trick of how you can create that effect. And if we go to hover, I'll use the hang animation. So when people hover over it, it does that nice little down thing, which is pretty good. That's what we want. And we'll give it the ability to click down in a moment. So we'll update that. Alright, so that's what we wanted. And if we go back to the about, we now want to include a section that talks about our story. So if we go back here and we click new and just go single section, we want to stretch it and we'll make this minimum height fit to screen. So the first thing we're going to need is a heading. Second thing we're going to need is a video. And the third thing we had there was some text. Alright, so again we can just come along here and go right click on the blue pencil, copy, and just go right click. Paste style, and again we'll change the text back to black. So this is a great place to talk about the story of your company, the history of it. A video is great to talk about that if you've got videos. And by default, Elementor just gives you their video from YouTube. So if we click on the video section, what you can do is you can upload your videos to YouTube, Vimeo, or you can get videos from your self-host or Dailymotion. What you can do is copy the URL, and what I'll do is I'll open up this on YouTube. Say you go to YouTube and you go to your YouTube channel, what you can do is come onto the URL, right click, copy, come back to your Elementor and just delete the existing URL and put your own URL in there, and there you go. YouTube has now been embedded onto your website. See, it's that easy, guys. We just want to add our story. I just put together some text, that you guys might have your own text written up or you're yet to write it up. Whatever it is, just chuck it into here and we'll just copy the style, and there you go. It's that simple. What we'll do is we'll left justify that and click update. There we go. We now have a section that talks about our story. There's a video and we've got some text to go with it. So the next thing we want to create is meet the team. Now this is actually pretty easy because this was a pre-made template. So if we come down here and we click on the template icon and we go to blocks, go to team, and as you can see, this is where I got it from. So I chose this one first. So we'll click on insert and we'll go back to the templates and we'll click on, and we'll go for this one here. And depending how many people you've got, you can just go right click, duplicate. You can add as many people as you want. So if you come in here, you can change the photo if you've got photos of people. Let's say that's one of our employees, one of our teammates, and you can come in, change their name, CEO, come in, have a little description you can replace here, bio, and if they've got access to social media, there's a good chance there won't be Behance, but a good one would be LinkedIn. Elementor pretty much has every social media that you could possibly imagine that you might most likely are using. So if we just search up LinkedIn, there it is. So you can customize this for all of them and go through it. If you don't have people's photos, then you can simply delete it for now and it'll just show their name. It's just like with the testimonials, and that's pretty good. So all I'll do here is stretch that and change the background. That's that gray thing that I've got going on. We'll do the same here. And there you go. I don't actually have a rostered team in my case, but you guys might already have a team. Otherwise, if you're just the co-founder, then you can just put a picture of yourself in a bio and just say you're the founder and a story about you, and that's fine. So it's going to be different for all you guys. And if we come back here, you'll see that we've got this section here that we already have made previously. So what we can do, I'll show you a little trick that Elementor has, is if we go right click, save as template, we'll call this brands, and that will add to our library. And if we do the same here, if we go right click and go save as template and call this testimonials, save, close out of that, and we can go right click, save as template, CTA, ready to talk, save that. And this is pretty overkill. And if we go back to the about that we're trying to create, we can go click on the template and my templates. You'll see that it's not there yet. So what we need to do is just refresh the page. So after refreshing, we'll scroll down, we'll click on the template icon, and if we click on my templates, here they all are. So the first thing we want to insert is brands. Just click yes, and there you go, all your hard work done in an instant. You don't have to go back and do it all over again. The beauty of Elementor is once you've created sections, you can just go ahead and save them as templates and then re-import them back into Elementor. So we'll do the same thing again. We'll import our testimonials and go yes. There we go, and we'll just import our CTA and do that, and there we go. And I noticed that when I import templates, Elementor defaults back to its default settings right here, so we just want to click on that and change that to Elementor Canvas, and that should resort it back to being Elementor only, that we don't have any settings from the WordPress itself interfering with our page layout. And so if we save that and click on preview changes, you will now see that we have completed our about page like so. The only thing left to do now is just to add those animations at the top. So if we go back here, go to the advanced, and if we go fade in from the left, and it's up to you guys. I'm going to go fade in up, and for this we'll just go fade in up, and for the button we will go fade in down, and we'll also delay this by 500 milliseconds. Now the other cool thing is that if we go to this section here and go to the advanced, we can give it what's called a CSS ID. So if I call this story, I've now given this section a name, an ID, and it's called story. So if we come back to the button now and click on the blue pencil icon, and if we click on the URL link here, by default it's got a hash. So if we go hash and put our story there and click update, and we'll go back to the preview, now we can actually click on this button and it'll take us to our story in this case. But you can give each section an ID name, and you can use buttons to take people down to where they want to be. What we'll do is we'll optimize this for mobile. So if we go into mobile view, and as you can see, this is what it looks like in mobile. A few simple changes we can do. We just bring the size of this text down, and we can go to typography and we'll bring that down to 19, and I might make it a little bit bigger than that. We'll go for 32, that's better, and we'll bring this down. 16 pixels is always good on mobile, and do the same for this. 16, that's all good. We can change our story to 32. The video's fine. We'll bring our text back down to 16. Some of these templates have already been pre-made to work on mobile, as you can see. So we'll bring that down to 32, because 16 times 2 is 32. Client testimonials, need to talk, and we'll also bring that down to 32. And we can bring that down to small, and there we go. If we go to the tablet view, a lot of this has already been optimized for tablet, and it's pretty much can't go wrong there. I guess we'll just bring this down to 38. We'll go for 48 for this one, and that's good. We'll just bring this down to 16. Much better, and we'll do the same for that. So that's how you optimize for the mobile, the desktop, and tablet. So make sure that when you update that, you go and test it on your device, and if it's not working, you can just come back and tweak things and refresh on your device until it's rendering properly. But Elementor's pretty good. I found it to be pretty reliable when it comes to that. Okay, so now we'll go and work on our services page. So we'll go to the dashboard, and we'll exit out, and we'll go to pages. Alright guys, so the next thing we need to do is to create our services page and contacts page, but instead of creating it all from scratch, I'm going to show you a little trick in Elementor with the templates feature, because we're really doing the same step-by-step process we did in the home page and the about page. What I'll get you to do is to click on your services page and click on the blue edit with Elementor, and this will bring up the Elementor again, and it will start out blank and fresh. And as you can see, we've just got the standard blank Elementor page. So what I've already done for you guys is, if you go to my website, www.tom-killen.com, and go over to the resources section, I've already gone ahead and created templates for every page here. As you can see here, you can just download them and we'll be able to install them onto our WordPress site. So even if you've had some trouble with the home and about page, you can download all the templates from here for free. So what we're going to do is we're going to download the services page template. We'll save that. And we'll download the contacts page template while we're here. So you might be on a Windows or a PC. I'm on a PC. So go to your little download icon or navigate to your download folder. And as you can see, I'll open these up. In my case, I've already downloaded them and I've put them in this little download folder. Your downloads might be by default in the downloads folder, so make sure you find those zip files. And what we'll do is we'll first open up the services page template zip. And if you're on Windows, you just need to unzip it. And once you've finished unzipping those zip files, you'll get this service-page-template.json file. So we'll go ahead and do the same for the contact page while we're at it. And just go and click on unzip. If it's on a Mac, just click on uncompress, so you can double click it and it should automatically uncompress it for you. Windows just makes it slightly more complicated. So we'll close out of that. So what you want to do is we'll click on this white field here and we'll select all the text here and go right click, copy. We'll head back to Elementor, and what we want to do now is click on this add template button here. And this will bring up the template library. So we want to go to import template, this little arrow icon here. Click on that, click on the green select file. And in this case, I'm just going to right click, paste that URL in our Explorer and click on this green button. And if we click on the white field and just go Control V or right click paste, and that will take us to, in my case, where I've unzipped my JSON files. So what you want to do is click on the service page template.json. Click open, and it will import into the Elementor library, which might take you a few minutes. And as you can see, it's already in our library. So service page template, click on the green insert button, click yes. Boom, and there it is. There's no having to muck around, it's just instant. So as you can see, I've set it up so you can just come in, change the images, change the text, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So if we go back to the top, and for example, we click on this section, and we go to the style, and as you can see, it's just a blank, there's no image in there yet. And if I go to my library, you'll just pick an image that you want to upload. I believe I used this image here, so we'll go with this image. And there we go, it's already been done for you. Then you can come in here and change the text, do the same for that, change the text, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So you just come in, choose the image you want to use, and there you go. So you can come in and just change the text, and you can just repeat the process all the way through. Like so. And of course, if you have more to talk about, you can go right click duplicate, and that'll just make a copy of that template. So you've got full control as to how much content you want to publish or not publish. So if we click on update and preview that, there you go. And of course, it's all optimized for mobile. As you can see, so don't need to worry too much about optimization. I've already gone ahead and optimized it for you guys. So if we click on the WordPress dashboard, so once the dashboard is loaded up, just click on pages, and now you want to go to your contact page, and we'll just make sure our contact page has the same settings. So make sure it's got content layered as 100% full width. And we want to disable the margins, go to the header, disable top bar, keep the header as it is. We'll make the menu minimal. And if we go down to the title, we'll just disable the title, breadcrumbs, disable, footer, disable all of these, click update. And if we go to edit with Elementor, click on the blue button that says edit with Elementor. And as you can see, we're back at square one with a blank canvas to work with, but we'll click on the template icon again, and that will load up our library, and we'll just click on the arrow import templates, select file, and it should bring us back to where we exported our zip files. This time we're going to choose contact page template.json, so click OK, and it's been imported now into our Elementor library. And if we go to contact template, we click the green insert button, click yes, and Elementor has now imported our contact page. So it's pretty straightforward, guys. So what I did for this one is, again, I used this image as the stock photography. I've already done the settings for you. And with the Google Maps, you can just type in where your business is located if you have a physical address, and it'll update that automatically for you, and you've got control of the zoom and the heights. I'm going to undo those, and then of course you can just come in here and change the text, add your schedule, your hours, your number, your email, and of course social media. You can come in, you can put your Facebook page in here, your Twitter URL, Instagram. You can delete social media icons if you don't have one yet, or you can add a new one by clicking the add item. And Elementor has got quite a few, if not all, of the social media platforms that most people use, especially for business, so you can come in there and customize it. And when you're happy with that, you can just click update. So if we click on the preview changes, we can now see that our contacts page is already good to go. So all that's left to do now is make sure that we've got our menu, and our menu is linked up. At this stage the menu is currently white on white, but we'll get that fixed. So to fix the menu, what we need to do is we'll first go to preview, and what we can do is go right click edit page and go open a new tab, and we'll navigate to the new tab. And if we scroll down, we'll just take a look at the settings here, and let's see, we want 100%, yep, disable the margins. We'll go to the header, and as you can see, this is our problem here. We forgot to change the menu to transparent, so go ahead and click transparent, click update, and if we come back here and refresh the page, there you go, we've fixed our menu. And I think the same is true for the services page, so we'll have a look at the services page. Yes, so there we go. So once again, if your menu is not displaying the way it should, just go to the edit page and go right click open a new tab. I like to open a new tab because then I can jump back and forth without having to reopen the browser each time. And just navigate to our header in the Ocean WP settings, and there you go. It says minimal, so we'll switch that back to transparent. Click on update. WordPress is updating those settings now. And if we go back to the services page and click the refresh, there you go, it's been fixed. Alright, so now we've got our whole website made, and so we'll click on home, and now we can say that we've got our main website created, but we still have to link some of these buttons here, like this button here. If we click on that, it takes us to nowhere. So in this case, watch our blueprint. This website doesn't actually have a blueprint, but what we can do, I'm going to show you. Let's just say that the blueprint was on our services page. So what we'll do is we'll click on edit with Elementor, and while Elementor was loading, we'll go to the services page, and we'll just grab the URL, so it's your website /services. We'll go back to the Elementor home, and if we just click on the button here, you will see that there's this section here in the button tab called link. Just get rid of the hash and paste the URL in there, and there you go. Now if someone clicks on that button, it will take them to the services page. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll open up another tab, and if we click on watch our blueprint, there you go. It's that simple, guys. And of course you can click on scroll back to top. The user can always navigate back to the home page. And I believe we've got a start a project. So again, if we come back to, actually before we go back, we'll click on contacts and we'll get the URL here. And if we go back to the Elementor home, make sure we're working on the home page. Again, if we click on the blue pencil for the button, and there it is, just paste the link in there and it's done. And we'll just preview that again, scroll down to the bottom, click on Start a Project, and it should take us to the contacts page where someone can get in touch with us. And there we go, it works. And there you go, that's how you put links onto buttons that can take a user to another section of your website or another page of your website, or in this case, as I've shown you in the About section, you can assign an ID to a section on a page and then you can put that in the button with the hash and it will take the user to that specific section of the website. So now you know. Alright guys, so the next thing we want to do is I'm going to show you how to put your own logo. This is especially true if you guys are on a tight budget right now and can't afford to pay a professional designer on getting a professional logo. And chances are that if you're just starting your business out, you probably don't need to worry too much about that at the moment, because from my experience, starting a business is an evolutionary process and it's better to just start. And as time goes on, you form a culture and you adjust your mission statement and your vision and redefine your purpose and your goals and the existence as to why your business exists in the first place. That was then the best time to approach a professional agency that can design a logo that can intertwine and incorporate all those ideas as a representative face of the business, as I like to think of it. So don't try to confuse a logo as a brand. A brand is what people think when they hear your name. It's like when I say Apple, you're immediately thinking of probably Steve Jobs or the iPhones. If I say McDonald's, you're probably thinking of your favorite Big Mac or your McChicken or whatever. That's essentially a brand right there, but not the logo itself. The logo is the face of the company or the face of the organization, and it represents the brand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way to get a logo for free to get started, especially if you haven't got a budget to spend right now. And if we open up a new tab and go to www.logomaker.com, that's www.logomaker.com. And this website has a limited amount of designs. We're going to skip the tutorial, just click next. So if we were to type in triangle, as you can see, there's so many different designs that you can choose from here. They are pretty generic, but for someone who's starting out, it's fine. You might want something a bit more abstract. And as you can see, there's some interesting designs here. Some are actually quite generic, but I'll let you guys play around with keywords to find something suitable for your business. In my case, I'm going to go with enterprise. I'll let you guys have a look around and see what you can find, but in my case, I'm about helping you guys, especially business owners, get from A to B, essentially. So I'm going to try the term enterprise. And there's a good chance that a lot of you have a vision of starting a business and growing it to the point where you're envisioning that maybe you own a multiple of skyscrapers as your business grows and grows over time. So I thought I might find something that sort of reflects around my mission statement of the business. So without overthinking it, because this is just tutorial demonstration purposes, we're just going to try and see if we can find something that's geared around enterprise. And the key to a good logo, guys, is simplicity. And what I mean by simplicity is to think of something like Apple's logo, just a nice, simple, abstract. Some of these designs are a bit too illustrative. Remember, guys, less is more. So already this is starting to sort of, this is what I'm sort of thinking, something along these lines. Again, these are still a bit too illustrative for my taste. We want to find something that is as minimalist as possible and is quite unique. And actually, here we go. I think one of these, I'm going to go with this. I like this. I'm assuming this is just a graphical abstract of skyscrapers, sort of in an isometric dimension. So we'll go with that. And what you can do, guys, is you can actually, once you've chosen something, you can type in the name of your company. In my case, WordPress Tutorials, company name. And you can drag that across here. And of course, you can change the font and all that. And you can change the color and change the font. We can even change the color here. But you might just want to be like Apple, where Apple just shows their logo. They don't actually have the name, and I'm actually going to go with that. So I'm going to change mine to white. And once you're happy with your design, guys, it's actually there. You just can't see it because it's white on white. When you're happy with your design, guys, you can click on this little icon over here, Save Logo. And just ignore all that and make sure that if you're going to use a logo from this website, that you give credit where credit is due. So click on Download, and here we go. It's going to save it as a PNG file, the same file format we used when we made the logo carousel earlier in the tutorial. I've already downloaded this logo, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to WordPress. Typically it will save in your downloads folder. And if we come back to our home page and click Customize, it'll bring up our little customized settings here. So if we come down and click on Header and click on Logo, and as you can see, we can upload our logo. At the moment, it's just our text with the color settings attached. So if we click on Select Logo and we click on Upload Files, select Files, we now want to navigate to where our logo is being downloaded. So here it is in this case. So I'm going to put this one up, and that's just uploading our logo to our WordPress library. Click Select, and we can skip the cropping. We're not going to crop this image. Skip cropping, and WordPress is now just going to update that for us. And by default, it's made our logo a little too big, so you can come down here and adjust the size. And we'll go with 60. Yeah, we'll go with 60 for now, but you can always come back and change this, guys. And of course, OceanWP gives you the ability to adjust the sizes if need be for the different mobile screen sizes. I guess 60 is going to make the cut for all of this, so we'll go with that, and I'll hit Publish. And that's essentially how you put your own little icon logo in WordPress. So if I click on the About page, OceanWP has automatically put it on every single page of your website. We'll go with Services, Contact, and if you click on the logo itself, it should just take you back to the home page, like so, and there you go. So if you're tight for a budget and you don't know how to create a logo, this is a great alternative right now. Obviously, make sure you give credit to logomaker.com. They've got instructions on how to do that. So the next thing we need is a footer before we complete our website. So if you scroll down, you'll see that we've currently got no footer because we still have to make our footer. And luckily we can do that now with Elementor. So if we go back to our dashboard and scroll down the sidebar and click on Theme Panel and click on My Library, we're going to create our footer here. And doing it this way means that the footer will show up on every page that we've created. Otherwise we'd have to manually import a footer for each page individually, and we don't really want to do that because that's just time consuming and it's annoying. So what you want to do first is click on Add New, and we'll just call it Footer. And if we come down to the settings here, we'll go for 100% full width, and we'll just disable the header. We don't need the header, and we'll just get rid of all of these. Disable that. We're going to use the footer obviously, so we'll leave the footer as is, and we'll come back to the main here and we'll disable the margins, click Publish, and we'll click on Edit with Elementor. Okay, and as you can see, that's the default WordPress OceanWP theme menu, and we're going to turn that off soon. And what we'll do first is we'll create a new footer, so we'll make the footer typically 3 columns, and what we can do first is we'll stretch that so it covers the whole screen size from left to right. And what you can do is we'll start by putting our logo on the left. So if we go to our widgets and drag an image in there, we can now insert our logo on the left. So what we'll do is we'll insert our logo and we'll bring that image size down to about, we'll make it 15 for the moment, but we can always change that back. And what we can do is just change the background color so we can see what's going on here. So we'll go with the black for the moment, and there we go. Okay, so what we can do is we can make the footer a little bit bigger than that. So if we go to min height and we'll bring it up to about, I'll leave it at 400 for now. And if we come into this column here, what we can do, the problem with Elementor Free is there aren't too many options, but we could put our Google Maps in this section here, and you can adjust the settings right there wherever your location is. And if we come back to the widgets, it's entirely up to you guys what you want to put here. So what we could do is we could add social media icons under our logo, and as you can see, you can come in here and just put your Facebook links and everything in here. If you want to adjust the style, you can. Custom color, in this case I'll make them white, and we'll make that black. And you might want to put your copyright information in here just so no one come along and take it. So if we go to text color, make that white, and we'll make that 16 so it doesn't need to be dominant. We'll change the font to Helvetica, and we'll come back here and just put copyright tomkillentutorials.com 2018. It's almost 2019. But you can pretty much write whatever disclaimer you want there, and we can center that, and we'll make these social media icons a little bit smaller. So, last but not least, I think what we'll do for now is we'll just drag these into the center here, and we'll make that You can position it in the center, you can position it in the bottom. I'm going to put it in the middle, and same for the logo. I'm going to put the logo in the middle as well. And just like with the logo, I'm also going to put the logo in the middle as well, like so. If we stretch that out like that, there you go. We've got a bit of a footer going on there. We'll update that. And if we come back to our website here and click on Customize, Customize will once again bring up this menu on the side. So if we click on footer widget, and once you've clicked on footer widgets, come down here and click on the footer that we just made, and WordPress will update it. And if we scroll down here, it won't actually be visible because we did actually turn it off earlier. So what we can do is we'll publish that for the moment. And once WordPress has published that, just close out of that. And once we're out of that, just navigate to the top and go right click, edit page, open a new tab. And what we need to do is just turn the footer back on. And scroll down here, and where it says footer at the bottom, we'll just enable the defaults and we'll select footer as our template, publish that. And we'll go back to our web page, let WordPress refresh it. Scroll down. And as you can see, our footer is now visible. You will have to go through each page to turn the footer back on for this to work on every page. But if you just click on the minimize button, and here's what it looks like in mobile view, everything centers and stacks up. And if we go back here, if you're wondering what these gray things are, we can simply open up Customize again. And if we click on footer widgets, we can come down here and just change these to 0. Make sure it's 00, otherwise WordPress won't recognize it. And of course you can change the background color. But as you can see, that Elementor's override it. So what we can do is publish that. And we can come back to the footer. And if you want to change the background color, you can. Change it to say blue and go update. Close out of that. As you can see, that any changes we make now on the Elementor, it will automatically update on the WordPress website. And there you go. Of course, this isn't limited to just that. Unfortunately, the problem with the templates in Elementor is that if you want a more professional footer from the templates, unfortunately, they are all currently Pro. You'll need to upgrade to the Elementor Pro to get some of these. But ideally, if you're a little creative, you can look at some of these examples and you might be able to take the widgets and copy what you can see here and create a much more aesthetic footer. But there's no right or wrong here, guys. It's really a case of what your business needs. In this case, I've just put the logo, some social media contacts, a copyright disclaimer, and a Google map of where we are. And I'm sure as time goes on, you'll most likely change your footer and your footer will have more information. And yeah, but just for starting out, at least you've got a footer and you can already navigate people to your social media platforms. And there you go. Just remember, guys, that in order to have the footer showing on every page, you just need to go to each page and turn the footer on. I'm going to actually do it now, and I'm going to speed the video up while I do it. And now that I look at the menu, I've decided that I'm going to go back and make one tweak to the menu. So if I click on Customize, and if I navigate down to the header and click on General and scroll down, I'm going to come back to the background color here. And you might remember that we started with a black background and we brought the transparency down to about 25. I've decided that for this website, I'm going to take it off altogether, and that's just my personal taste. But for you guys, you might want to keep that little transparency bar there. But for my case, I've decided that I'm going to take it off. And since we're in the Customize menu, I'm going to show you how we can add our Favicon, which is the little icon that goes up here. So if we click on back and we go to the site identity, you will see here that we've got this what's called site icon. And if we select image, right, we can click on our logo right here and click select. And if we skip cropping, you will see that our little logo is now up here. If you guys are using the default light browser theme, I'm using the dark theme mode for Firefox, then what you'd have to do is simply go back to logomaker.com where you can download your logo again, but change the color to black or gray, save that as a PNG, and then just upload it here again. And WordPress will give you, yeah, you can see it right here. At the moment, it might be wise if I go back and do that, but In fact, you know what? Let's do it now. We'll go to a new tab, www.logomaker.com. I probably should have done this from the start, but you know, it is what it is. So I typed in enterprise, and we'll scroll down and I'll find that logo again. It was a couple scrolls down if I remember correctly. And there it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it my green color that I've been using consistently throughout my website. So I'll go with that and I'll click Save Logo. And remember to credit the website if you're going to use it for free. So we'll save that. And we'll come back to change image and we'll go to upload file, and there it is. So I'll upload my green logo, and as you can see it's going to work now because it can work on both a dark background and a white background or grey background. So that's just something to consider, guys. So if we go publish, we've now got our little logo Favicon up on the top left of the tab, or when people bookmark or open it on their smartphones, it's there. Alright, and we'll close out of that. Alright guys, and that's pretty much our website complete, and it's just a matter of, as time goes on, you can come back now and start adding on to it. You can upgrade to the Elementor Pro and you can get more out of it, but right now everything we have is enough to get you guys going. And like I said, this is just an evolutionary process. So congratulations if you've made it this far. I hope you achieved creating your own website. The last thing we need to do is simply log out of Elementor. So if you navigate to the top right here and click log out, WordPress will now log out and it will take you to the WordPress theme. So if we go to our website, we can now have a look at the website from a public point of view. And as you can see, we don't have that black bar anymore. And now that we've got our new WordPress website, we can now focus our time and energy chasing down clients. And now clients have a place to go to or to land on if they want to see our website. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this tutorial has helped you build your own website. And like I said, you now have the ability to use WordPress Elementor and chip away at your website and watch it grow, and it's only a matter of time before you've got your own professional website and it's generating business or traffic. Okay guys, I've got a bonus section here for you. This is totally optional, but I'm going to give you a list of my top 10 recommended plugins for WordPress, and they are all free, and I believe that they'll add a tremendous amount of value to your website. I guarantee you'll use at least 2 to 3 of them after we've gone through this list. So we'll start with the first one, and plugin number 1 I'm going to recommend is OneSignal. Have you ever been to someone's website and you've been asked to accept and receive push notifications? Yeah, and then you get those little notifications on your web browser at the bottom, probably on the bottom right corner of your screen. Well, this plugin allows you to gather people's information, and then you can send these people notifications as push notifications. It's similar to email marketing, but it's a lot more modern, and it's probably where things are going in the future. If you do email marketing, I still highly recommend email marketing, but reviews show that this is sort of where it's going now, and it's 10 times more likely to convert if you've got traffic on your website, or when people open up their browsers and they receive a push notification to your website for, say, a campaign. Then I highly recommend this for all your websites, especially if you're trying to attract clients or sales. So let's say you have a new product on your website, a new service or a campaign or an announcement or something, maybe an e-commerce store, a new product. Well, let's say you've got 10,000 people that have accepted your push notifications via browser. Then when you launch that push notification out, then 10,000 people will be notified about your new campaign or product, and that's potentially 10,000 buyers or customers. You see what I'm saying? So I highly recommend this. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube, and I may make a tutorial on all of these plugins in the near future, but for now, if you haven't got this plugin, I highly recommend you get on it now. The next free plugin I want to recommend is Icegram, and this is a great plugin if you want to put lots of pop-ups or email pop-ups, that kind of thing on your website. This plugin also does notification pop-ups. Say you're having a massive sale on your website, or if you're an e-commerce business, you might have people love it when they don't have to pay shipping costs internationally if they spend a certain amount of money on your website, so that sort of thing. And alternatively, you can use another plugin for Elementor. It's also a pop-up box, but Icegram pretty much is like a 10-in-1 kind of package plugin, if you know what I mean. So I highly recommend it. It's got lots of positive reviews. The next free plugin I want to recommend, and this is a security plugin, is the All-in-One WP Migration. What this plugin does is it takes a whole copy of your website, your WordPress website, and download it to your desktop. So if anything happened to your website or you got hacked or whatever the case might be, at least you've got a backup copy that you can just put back up immediately and not have to go through the hassle of reconstructing your website and losing business. It nearly has 1 million installations, so when it comes to security and backup, you can't go wrong with backup. In fact, sometimes I like to think that no file exists unless it's in 2 places at the same time, or no website exists unless it's got a backup in another place, if you know what I mean. Definitely get this one, guys. Highly recommend it. It's free. Right, our 4th free plugin that I'm going to recommend, and I'd highly recommend if I was to pick one of the top 10 plugins, this is probably it, and that is Really Simple SSL. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Google did an update, and if you haven't got a HTTPS SSL certificate on your website now, then there's a good chance that you're going to miss out on internet traffic, because Google will either discourage users from entering your website from the Google search results, or it might not even let people go to your website at all to begin with, because Google might think of it as a virus website or whatever the case might be. So what this plugin does is, so long as you've got an SSL certificate on your website, this basically forces the SSL certificate to work. And if you're having any problems troubleshooting your SSL certificate for your website, say you contacted WordPress support, well then there's a good chance that they'll probably refer you to this plugin anyway. So that will save you heaps of time if you just install it now. So obviously it doesn't work if you don't have an SSL, so make sure you've got an SSL certificate first and then have the plugin, and then it's pretty simple, guys. It's free. Get this plugin. Out of all the plugins I'm recommending, get this plugin, please. The next free plugin I'm going to recommend is WP Fastest Cache. And so this is a caching plugin, and I highly recommend this because have you ever been to a website before and the first time you viewed it, it took a while to load, and then later on you went back to visit that website again and it loaded a lot faster? Essentially that's sort of what this plugin is all about. It enables people or your visitors coming to your website to get a quicker, more responsive load time. Yeah, you can't beat a website that loads really fast. If anything, if a website takes too long to load, there's a risk that people are going to just click off your website and go to someone else's website, aka a competitor of your website. So make sure you download this one, guys. It's really important. Next up is WPS Hide Login. Okay, so for those who are new to WordPress, you might remember at the start of the tutorial when we logged into our WordPress, if you take your domain name, right, and you type in /wp-admin, that's the standard default to log into any WordPress website. So if you know someone else who's using WordPress, you could copy and paste the URL and put the /WordPress-admin, and that will take you to their login page. Now that's a bit weird. You don't really want people landing on your login page. That's kind of creepy, if you know what I mean. So what this plugin does is once you've installed it, you can simply go into your WordPress dashboard, go into the settings, and then you can just change that domain extension to something else. It could be your url.com/Lamborghini. Okay, the next free plugin I'm going to recommend to you guys is WP Smush. Now what this plugin does is that it compresses all your images on your website, and again, like one of our earlier recommended plugins, this adds up to loading faster, websites rendering quicker, and reduce the chances of people clicking off your website because they were a little impatient. Because remember, guys, we live in an instant gratification era at the moment, so very important that if you've got some really big, high quality pictures on your website, like wallpapers, this plugin will do its best to compress the file size of those images as small as possible without losing the quality. So highly recommend it, guys. And as you can see, it has well over 1 million active installs and plenty of positive reviews. So if you want your website to load faster, this is the plugin for you. Okay, and the next plugin I'm going to recommend for you guys is Tidio Chat. And Tidio Chat is a live chat feature built into your website. So if you've ever been to, like, say, websites like an internet or mobile phone provider website, they usually have like a little pop-up chat box where people from the customer support team can chat to you directly through text messaging, similar to Facebook Messenger in a way. But if you're looking to build a large customer base, or you simply want people to be able to contact you on the go while they're visiting your website, then this plugin is for you, especially if someone is on, say, a landing page and they're thinking about buying something. This plugin actually allows you to track where users are on your website, and if they're on the landing page, for instance, where they're just deciding if they're going to buy the product or not, you can actually send them a message and start chatting with them, and then they'll be like, hey, what the hell, how did you know I was here? And then you can have a little conversation and increase your chances of selling them the product if they've got any objections or uncertainty. So it's a great plugin, guys, and it's free. I highly recommend it. Alright, the next free plugin I'm going to recommend to you guys is Yoast, and this is an SEO plugin. So what this plugin does is it basically indexes your website for search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, and it basically helps to tell people what your website is all about, especially when you're ranking on the Google search page. So you know when you do like a Google search, right, and you see the name of the website and their little description underneath it and then some other metadata, well, basically Yoast lets you have full control of that. So you can actually go in and optimize all your pages. So if people search certain phrases and then one of your pages on the website comes up on the first page of Google, you've got maximum control as to what you're saying. If your website's ranked next to other people's websites that aren't using this plugin, then you're probably going to stand out more and more likely to land that click, because your search result's going to make a lot more sense and ideally answer the problem or the question that the user was looking for in the search engine, versus someone who's just got random text taken from their website that's all over the place. Okay guys, so definitely use Yoast. It's really easy to use. And last but not least, the last top 10 plugin that I'm going to recommend that is free is the Facebook Messenger Live Chat. So this plugin actually does a lot more than the name suggests, but essentially what it does is you can connect your Facebook fan page to your website, and then you've got your Facebook Messenger chat. So for people who use Facebook Messenger on a day-to-day basis, this will be ideal if you're targeting, say, the millennial generation on your website, where people can chat away back and forth using their Facebook Messenger. This plugin also adds nice social icons on your website. If you know those 3D pop-up social icons that you might have seen on websites on the side of the screen on the left or the right, this plugin also adds a store map using the Google Maps. So if you've got a store and you've got branches or locations, you can add that into this. This plugin allows you to show that as well so people can find you. I'm just going to recommend two more honorable plugins that I would say are essential rather than being in the top 10. We're already using Elementor, so I want to show you WooCommerce, and this plugin basically allows you to have an e-commerce store or sell products online on your website through WordPress. So if that's your kind of thing, or that's something you're looking to get into in the future, definitely get WooCommerce. And if you upgrade to the Elementor Pro, you can take advantage of the WooCommerce plugin by using Elementor to design a beautiful e-commerce store, and it's of course very easy to do. So if that's your thing, definitely look into getting to this plugin. Finally, if you've made it this far, the last great essential plugin that I recommend for any WordPress website is WordFence. And again, this is another great security plugin that you can get for free. And what this security plugin does is it's continuously looking in your website, and it's looking for any malware or malware injections, Trojans, all that kind of thing. So you can't go wrong when your website is consistently being scanned and monitored. Not much different to your Norton antivirus on your computer or whatever antivirus system you're using. And as we can see here, it has over 2 million active installs and plenty of positive reviews. So there you go, guys. This is more than enough to get you guys started. I wish I knew all this when I first started. They didn't teach any of this to me at university, ironically. But hopefully in just a few hours, you've got enough value that's far superior than just doing a whole semester trying to code a website that potentially learn and forget about anyway after the semester's over. So the power is yours, guys, so go forth, and I wish you the best of luck. If you've got any comments, suggestions, hit me up in the comments section or flick an email. This is only the first of many WordPress videos to come, and obviously as time goes on, Elementor gets more features, WordPress is updated, more plugins will come out. So I'll say every several months I'll refresh the blueprint and I'll release a more up-to-date version of that, as well as anything that I can add more value to you guys. If there's any more value I can bring to you guys, I will certainly incorporate it into the next blueprint. We'll call it Blueprint 2.0. But yeah, so if you're interested in keeping up to date with everything and have all the hard work leveraged for you so you can just come to one place to get as much value as possible in the shortest amount of time, then hit the subscribe button or sign up to my email subscription. You'll get a free cheat sheet on some of the tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I first started. The cheat sheet does feature the top 10 plugins, as well as a few other goodies that have links to the places you can go to. So essentially I've gone out to the far wide corners of the web and brought back all the best bits of information and packaged it all into this one cheat sheet, just to save you guys years and years of time that you're going to learn in just a few hours. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this blueprint. I hope you guys end up making some amazing websites, and I hope it gets you from A to B. So good luck, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.